Hello, friends. Welcome to our Thinking Thursday. And आयुर्वेद के ऊपर विनोद जी ने बहुत ही बढ़िया पार्ट 1 का टॉक दिया था। आज पार्ट 2 है। तो आचार्य जी, वेलकम अगेन। Everybody loved the part 1 talk, and I think we want more knowledge from you. So this
Thank
is
you.
part 2 of the Ayurveda talks. Uh,
Thank you.
Vinod ji, over to you.
Thank you. So before we proceed, I would like to know from the participants if anybody has any questions so far what we discussed during the previous session.
Hi there. It's Rashmi from the UK. I don't have any questions, but is there a recording for the last session that I missed?
Yes, we do have recording.
Yeah.
Yes, Rashmi, the recording has been uploaded on the YouTube channel. If you
Okay.
want, you can share the link here itself on the
Thank you.
chat.
That
Yeah.
would be great. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll share. I'll share.
Share.
So does anyone have any question?
I think everybody is now waiting to listen to you.
Okay. Few times, I think, in the previous sessions, even in the session of Srimad Bhagavatam, I had mentioned, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON movement, he used to say after the discourse, he would ask anybody's any question. So if nobody would ask questions, so he would say that in two situations, people, they don't have any questions. Either they understood everything or they didn't understand anything. So I don't know which category uh, participants are. I'm hoping that, they are in the first category when they understood everything. So continuing with the discussion where we stopped not yesterday, previous session. We were talking about the three main pillars, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So in Ayurveda, these are called three main pillars which sustain our body structure and maintain our health. And I had asked a question that mostly, if you read in any Ayurvedic book or if you read any article on the internet also, normally these three, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, they are referred to as three doshas. Dosha literally means faults, or drawbacks, or shortcomings, or weaknesses. So I had asked a question that how can the faults be the pillars? It sounds a bit contradictory, right? And somebody had given a very appropriate answer. If any one of you can remember, what was the answer given? How can we say that faults are the pillars which sustain our body structure and maintain our health?
Uh, Acharya ji, we are born with these main pillars, but in case we deviate through our normal modern style living, then we get into a vikruti, and that's how the illness comes. That's why it's called dosh.
Yeah, but generally, even Prakriti also, when we talk about Prakriti, our blueprint, our DNA, for these three humors, they are referred to as dosha only. Not only in case of Vikruti, but in case of Prakriti also, when we talk about these three, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, they are referred to as doshas, not pillars, generally. So how can they be the doshas, the faults, be the pillars? There is a key word, which one of you had answered. I'm not sure whether that person is attending this session today or not, but that was the very correct answer given by that person. Can anyone recall that? What was the answer given? No? Normally in Ayurveda, we say when people, they have a little bit of problem with regard to the short-term memory, then it is due to the Vata disorder. So I won't say what I think about the participants today. So the answer was given, they should be in the balanced proportion. When they are in the balanced proportion, they can be referred to as the pillars, not the faults. But this also is true. What Ayurveda says that it is very difficult to maintain the balance among these three. At any given time, at least one of them will be out of balance. Now, this also I had asked, if at any given time, what Ayurveda says, at least one of them is out of balance, and imbalance causes sickness, then from that perspective, we should always be sick. Yes? Yes or no?
So we might be sick, but it may not come it may not manifest. We may have a imbalance inside, but it might not manifest in our body like visually maybe.
Yes, you're right. But still, that means we are still sick, right? Though whether the symptoms manifest on the surface or not, whether they are at the very subtle level within our body. But still, the condition would be called that we are sick, right? So sickness means, that means we will not be able to function in the normal way. But that's not the case generally. Our activities don't come to standstill when we have the imbalances. We still carry on with our activities, our daily activities. We perform our duties. So I'd ask a question that what kind of force allows us to continue with our daily life, even though in spite of having imbalances within our system? What's that force which allows us to continue with our activities? Does anyone remember? And that's the key point, in Ayurveda. It is that that's the key point to good health.
So I did
That's
not
the key to good
attend
health.
your last session. I'll definitely listen to it, but is it pranavayu?
Not exactly. Pranavayu is one of the 10 vayus which help us to breathe in and out, which gives us life force, but not exactly. The answer is given in Ayurveda, our own immune system. When our immune system is strong, it can tolerate the consequences of the imbalances within our body and outside also. The climatic conditions, all of a sudden, when the weather changes, so that's kind of imbalance in the environment. So that also we are able to tolerate if our immune system is very strong. And that's the key to good health. That's why so much emphasis is put in Ayurveda on the immune system, strong immune system. Correct? So, because of this reason, it is said that whatever imbalances which may be caused due to one dosha or more than one dosha, if our immune system is strong, we are able to resist the bad effect of that imbalance. Correct? Now, I had asked the question that what causes the imbalance? Somebody used the word vikruti. That's very true. We call it prakruti, vikruti. So, when there is imbalance, that state is called vikruti, abnormal state, right? So, what is the cause of vikruti? What is the cause of imbalance at the first place in our system? What causes the imbalance?
When we misuse our indriyas, abuse our indriyas, or misuse.
Yes, it is true. But still, I'm looking for
discipline. We lack discipline.
Yes, that also is true.
Our dincharya?
That also is true. See, sometimes people, they say, that global warming, stress at work, bad climatic conditions and all that, these things are true. But these factors are secondary. The primary factors which directly affect us, and to a certain extent, we can control them, we can manage them. So those are our eating habits and lifestyle. These are the two primary things which are responsible for causing vikruti. Correct? So now if we know that wrong diet and unhealthy lifestyle cause the imbalance, and that imbalance can result in ill health, different ailments. So why can't we follow right type of diet and live in the very healthy manner? Who is stopping us from doing that? This is like a recap. This also we discussed in our previous session. So who's stopping us from eating right type of food and living in a healthy manner?
Our desires.
Okay. What else? How can we manage our desires if we know that these desires are not good, not uh, healthy for us? So how can we manage them? We cannot stop desires. Desires will always be there. As long as we are alive, the desires will always be there, right? So how can we manage them? What can help us to manage our desires? That means select the right desires and reject the wrong desires, unhealthy desires.
I think to understand these, that we can have desires which are basically sattvic in nature rather than rajasic and tamasic. तो गुणास के साथ हम शायद अपने desires manage कर सकते हैं.
Yeah, very true. But see, sometimes, the situation can be such that we need to have rajasic desires. That means the desires which are influenced by the mode of passion, right? If we are facing any situation where we need to show passion, we need to have some kind of aggressive approach. So at that time, we cannot have the sattvic desire. We cannot be sattvic at that time.
तो बुद्धि इम्पोर्टेंट है, या जिसको हम कहते हैं विवेक, कि कहाँ पे किस चीज से हमें अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेव करना चाहिए.
Very true. Our conscience, yes, our rationale, it can help us to make a right decision. See, the bottom line, what Ayurveda says, what can help us to manage our desires and all that. If we know our prakruti and vikruti, if we know our blueprint, in Ayurveda it is said, the main cause of sickness in the human society is ignorance. People, they do not know who they are. What is the combination of the doshas they have? What is their prakruti? What is their mind-body setup? What is their blueprint? So that ignorance causes the problems. Because when we don't know what is our prakriti, we won't know what kind of food is suitable for us, what is appropriate for us, and what kind of lifestyle can benefit us. So then in that kind of situation, when we are ignorant about our own self, we just go with the flow. So the food items which can be suitable for others when we are having meals together with others, so the food items may be suitable for others. But if that same food item is not suitable for us, if it doesn't suit our prakriti, our body's makeup, then that can cause problems, right? And that can cause vikruti in our body, and that vikruti can result in ailments, health issues. So the basic point, what Ayurveda says, the education is very important. We need to know what is our constitution, what is our blueprint. Each individual has his own constitution. Even people who are in the same category, supposing people who are in the Vata Pitta category. So in that category also, you will find so many numerous combinations. Percentage may vary. Vata's percentage may be, in some people's case, maybe more compared to Pitta, and vice versa. So a little bit of difference in the percentage proportion of these doshas, even though doshas are both the same in different people. But when the percentage is different, then the individual's prakriti is different. So it is very important to find out who exactly we are. It is said that we waste so much time in finding about other people. what is happening in other people's life, who they are, and we gossip a lot about them. But what is happening within our own self, we are so much ignorant about. We are not aware of those things. We are unaware. And that ignorance causes the problems. So during Gurukul system, if you know that, in India, centuries ago, there was a Gurukul system. The small children would go to the hermitage of the Guru to get education. So, of course, the general syllabus would be there. Gurus would teach them general subjects, but according to the qualification, according to the propensities of specific students, they would focus on particular subject to teach that particular student, according to the propensity, according to the prakriti of the disciple. So that's why the society was prospering so much. There were not so many problems. But nowadays, that same kind of syllabus is offered, at all school levels. The teachers, they don't know what are the propensities of the students. Even there are vocational guidance, who help the students to choose their subjects. But those subjects also, they are not chosen according to the blueprint of the students. That's why, yes, sometimes superficially, they may acquire some degrees and all that. They may get good paid jobs also, but satisfaction is not there. Contentment is not there. So in the modern economy, also it is taught that job satisfaction is much more important than how salary, what kind of package the person is getting. I come across in my practice, whether it is Hong Kong or other places in the world, people who are having very big corporate jobs, well-paid jobs, but they are not happy. And they have so many health issues. Mostly, at a subtle level, emotional level, psychological level, even sometimes mental level. So what's the use of earning money in that way when the person himself or herself is not happy, right? So when we talk about health, according to Ayurveda, absence of disease is not necessarily we call like, health. The person has to be balanced at all levels, physical level, emotional level, mental level, even spiritual level, intellectual level. So when there is proper balance, then only we can say the person is healthy. But nowadays, the yardstick also, the measurement, the yardstick through which they measure the person, whether the person is healthy or not, it's all superficial. The blood test and all that, they see how the body is functioning, how the tangible substances in the body, they are functioning. So that is not enough. Of course, that information can be useful, but that is not enough to find out whether the person is really healthy or not. People maybe so many times, I come across people, they physically look very healthy, but emotionally they are so distant. Intellectually, sorry to use this word, they are so screwed up. They don't make proper decisions in their life. And that's why we have this rat race, competition. And to succeed, to move forward, people, they push other people behind. And this is called progress in modern society. Success also, the yardstick is quite different compared to the way it was measured before. So anyway, I don't want to go into that philosophical more discussion, but the point I want to make, that ignorance becomes a cause of many problems. So we need to learn that. What is our constitution? And that is the basic duty of an Ayurvedic expert consultant, to inform the client or the patient, whatever they address the people, whatever way they want to address. So they need to inform them, what is their prakriti. Once the prakriti is known by an individual, it becomes so easy for that individual to take charge of his or her own health. And there is nothing like, taking charge of our own health. How can we surrender our health in the hands of somebody else who doesn't know much about health, to be precise? Am I making sense here?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
So it is very important to know what is our prakriti. And if we live our life according to our Prakriti, if we eat food which is suitable to the permutation combination of our doshas within our body has an intelligence at that digestive system as well. There are different levels, intelligence is working. So at the digestive system level also, there is an intelligence working. So when we supply the food, which is suitable, which is appropriate, which is according to our constitution, that intelligence in the digestive system can recognize that food and process it very quickly. Then there is no issue of indigestion. No complaints person will have about constipation. But unfortunately, that part is not known. And then, as I said, we just go with the flow. And that's why so many complications start. So when we supply right type of food according to our body's doshas, then that food can be processed in a timely manner and it can get transformed into energy. And that energy can help us to work properly. It can help us to maintain our stamina at all levels. So this is very significant to find out what is our Prakriti. And this also we talked about, what is the way to find out what's one's Prakriti. Does anyone remember what's the way to find out one's own Prakriti? How can we find out what is our Prakriti? Does anyone remember?
Yeah,
Sorry, like
Vata
Rashmi, we
people.
were. Oh, and I was going to just say there's a few of us who just joined for the first time. So if you see silence, it's because I think myself, Rashmi, and maybe a couple others may have just joined for the first time. So you weren't here last time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would ask those participants who attended the previous session. Does anyone remember? This also we
Vata
discussed.
people. Yes, Vata people, you said they are the sensitive people. And Pitta people are those who can tolerate, who can't tolerate.
Pitta people who cannot tolerate.
Yeah.
That's actually
Okay.
angry, intolerant, hot.
Vata people are very intelligent, quick to grasp something, and quick to forget also. And Pitta people are very intelligent. They retain some of the knowledge they gain. And Kapha Prakriti, they grasp the knowledge slowly, but they retain it for long. And they are heavy, little heavy bodied, and they have big eyes. Vata people have small eyes, and uh, Pitta people have a they're very intelligent. You can see it in their eyes.
Okay. So yeah, so basically you are saying that by people's appearance and their behavior and their mental ability, those kind of things, you're saying that based on that we can find out what is the Prakriti of an individual, right? To
No, sir,
certain
it's
extent,
just to certain extent, but not completely, of course, because all of them are mixture. Not they're not completely Vata, they're not completely Pitta, and they're not completely Kapha. So
yes. Yes. Now, so see here, based on my experience, I want to share with you that not only the Prakriti can cause these kind of symptoms. Suppose, for example, Vata. Now, the nature of Vata, the air, people can be lightweight, the skin can be dry, correct? And people will be very active and all that, correct? So these are like common symptoms which are influenced by the air element, mainly predominantly if somebody has very strong air in the body, correct? Now, this we are talking about the Prakriti. Now, in Ayurveda, it is said the same kind of symptoms you can see in an individual who has Vata disorder, Vata vikruti. Vata vikruti also can cause similar symptoms. Very thin line of difference. Vata prakriti people, they can be very active, proactive, correct? Vata vikruti people, they can become very hyper, very impatient, correct? Now, the symptoms are similar, correct? But the prakriti shows that in a very positive way, positive effect of Vata. And vikruti shows negative effect of Vata, correct? For example, like I said, the very common symptom, Vata Prakriti people, they're very active. Vata vikruti people, they are very hyperactive and impatient. Correct? Now, how can we differentiate whether these symptoms are caused due to the Vata Prakriti or Vata Vikruti? Again, I'm coming to that question. How to find out what is a person's Prakriti and what is person's individual's Vikruti? What's a precise way to find that out?
In last session, you had mentioned about the combination of these elements, which forms a Prakriti. So
Correct.
maybe, when in Pitta, Agni element and another element. So as per that, their behavior and their composition and their temperament and their tolerance is there. So maybe this is one aspect we can check, their element combination.
How can we check? My question again. How can we check? What is the most precise and most accurate way of finding out somebody's Prakriti and Vikruti?
Give a questionnaire.
Yes, sometimes people they do that, but I shared this case history also. Many times it has happened. People from yoga community they come to consult me. Now in yoga system nowadays, it is compulsory. They have to learn a certain number of hours when they are doing the yoga teachers training course. So certain number of hours they have to learn Ayurvedic anatomy. So then they get the questionnaire. So based on that, they can, they guess what is your Prakriti. So when they come to see me and when I check them, then I find out that, what they were thinking about their Prakriti is completely different from what I find out. So I had mentioned to you how I check people's Prakriti and Vikruti. What is the most precise, most authentic, and most accurate way of checking?
Nadi.
Absolutely. Nadi Pariksha, the pulse reading. And that can reveal so many secrets of individuals. And many times, I come across people and they say that, many things they even forgot that these things were happening to them. Like, for example, once, one yoga teacher, when she came to see me and she had a little heavy body. So she thought that, she was a kapha person because these are the symptoms of kapha people, right? The weight, physical weight is uh, more than average of that age group. But when I checked her pulse and I found out that she was a Vata predominant person. So she asked me, how come? I said, the Prakriti is Vata. The excessive weight, what she was experiencing at that moment, it was due to the Kapha imbalance, not Kapha Prakriti. Because of the Kapha imbalance, she put on weight. Then I asked her, when she was growing up, was she very skinny, very, very thin? She said, absolutely. She was very skinny at that time. So I said, that's the Prakriti. At that time, the Prakriti was influencing the body structure. So that's why she was skinny, slim. But now the Kapha Vikruti was affecting her body structure. So she put on weight. So this can be found out from the Nadi Pariksha. So this also I had mentioned to you that don't get disheartened if you cannot come across anybody who can help you to find out your Prakriti and Vikruti from your Nadi. Don't get disheartened. Very significant thing I had mentioned to you, which can be very useful for all of you. If you don't know what is your Prakriti, if you don't have any questionnaire, you cannot find anyone who can check your pulse and let you know, don't get disheartened. Very simple guideline I had given you how you can find out or how you can adjust your diet without consulting anybody, any expert, Ayurveda expert, or without attempting to any questionnaire. Does anyone remember? I had given you that very wonderful guideline which is given in Ayurveda. No one remembers? This reminds me, of our school days, primary school days. When we used to go to school after the school was over, go back home, just throw the school bag somewhere, we cannot find till the next day. And then don't worry about what we learned at the school. And next day when the teacher would ask, oh, we don't know what you taught yesterday. Right? So see, it's my humble request. I'm not being sarcastic, but it's my humble request, that if we are having these kind of sessions, and if your intention is to learn and equip yourself with this ancient wisdom from Ayurveda, so my humble request is to you to, after the session is over, please listen to it whenever you have time. In bits and pieces, you can listen, and you make some notes. This will help you to learn properly. And also, when you are rehearing this again and again, you hear and you make some notes, you will come across some questions, some doubts also you may have. And please raise those questions in the subsequent session and clarify your doubts in the subsequent session. This is the way to study any subject if you're serious about it. If you're not serious about it, then I don't have to say anything. How many of you agree with what I said just now?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, agree.
So,
Now I
otherwise,
have found something,
to be
something in
honest,
the note.
and to be straightforward, otherwise we are wasting our time. This
True.
becomes like, entertainment sessions. So now there are so many avenues available, in the world for entertaining ourselves. This is not the way to entertain. So it's my humble request, take this, because this subject is very serious. So we have to take it very seriously. If we are serious about learning, then we need to take it very seriously. Right? Otherwise, every session, I have to keep on asking the questions and there is no answer coming from the participants. So this is not the right way. This is not the right approach. Please don't feel offended. I'm just saying, because I know deep down, you are very interested, very keen to learn this subject. So if you want to learn it properly. It's not that you remember for a few days and after a few days you forget. Then no point learning. It's waste of time. Right? Again, please forgive me if I offended anyone. It's not my intention to offend anyone. But, this is the way we learn. Our guru used to chastise us so much. If we were not able to answer, then he used to say, no, don't waste my time. If you're not serious about studying, don't come here again. But then, we used to, that way, when we were chastised, we were scolded, we took the subjects very seriously. Then we learned. Right? This should not become like a time pass session. Correct? Any question here so far what we discuss? I will ask that question. I will not give up on that question. That what is the very wonderful way, if you do not have anybody who can check your pulse and let you know what is your prakruti and vikruti, and if you don't have any questionnaire also, then what is a way that you can manage the doshas within your system?
Based on season, you said we should eat. Like winter is the nurturing season. You can eat more, and regular oil massage and all these things can be done. And in the autumn season, we should detoxify, eat less.
Yeah, these are like general regime, these are general guidelines. But again, the precise question is, how can we find out, how can we manage our doshas if we do not know what is our personal prakruti and vikruti?
General lifestyle changes anyway about with Ayurvedic principles.
What changes anyway? Sorry.
Lifestyle changes in line with the Ayurvedic principles.
Yes, correct. You're right. But again, I want to have the precise answer that how can we change our lifestyle according to the change of weather, change of seasons? How can we do that? For example, now, in the northern hemisphere, we are going to experience the winter season now, cold weather, correct?
Yeah.
Now, that season will affect everybody. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, individuals, everybody will be affected. But the effect which is felt by each individual is different from one another, right? So in that kind of situation, how can we follow the same kind of lifestyle, same kind of eating habits, which are given as guidelines for winter season? If we do not know precisely what is more appropriate for us.
So is it always eating seasonal food, things that it is in season? Oh, sorry, that's probably basic, isn't it? Okay.
I had
I
mentioned to
wasn't
you.
I
Yes,
wasn't there at the
please.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. It's not a problem. Anybody would like to guess?
I think
Sir,
most important is to eat fresh food in any season. Like not stale
Yes.
food, fresh food अगर हम खाते हैं, गरम खाना, whatever according to the season, that can maintain a good lifestyle. अभी आजकल लोग
Okay.
ठंडा खाना खाते हैं, फ्रिज का खाना खाते हैं. I feel
Hmm.
freshness is very important.
Now, see, what you said, Triptiji, is right. Now, let me ask you a question. Supposing
हाँ.
in winter season, we get amla,
हम्म.
gooseberries, right?
हम्म.
It's a seasonal fruit, correct?
हम्म.
Now, how many amlas a Vata person, Pitta person, or Kapha person should eat on regular basis, on
It is
daily
going
basis?
to be variable.
So this is my question.
Hmm.
How to find out what kind of proportion is suitable for an individual?
Once you know your dosha, then you
Yes,
can decide on what food is suitable and in quantity, how much
correct.
to eat. So
Yes, so
basically you must know your dosha.
correct. So that's the question I'm asking. How to find out what is our dosha if we are not able to get our pulse checked and if we don't have any questionnaire. So this is the point we were discussing, and I had mentioned to the participants at that time in that session that what is the way Ayurveda says, that we can base, we
Hmm.
can take that as a base, that dosha as a base. Okay, we are like this, even though we don't know what is a prakriti. And that can work quite wonderfully also.
If we eat something and we feel energetic and healthy, that means that food suits us. And if we eat certain kind of food, like we are two people at home, if I eat something and my husband eats something, but both of us don't feel good, like the energy is not there and digestion is very poor, so we can make out that this is our dosha.
Hmm. I will come to the point directly. I have said that no matter what kind of prakriti or vikruti an individual has, when the person is not able to get his pulse checked, cannot find out through help of any Ayurvedic expert or through questionnaire that what is the precise prakriti or vikruti of an individual, the person should presume, pay attention now, the person should presume that he or she is a Vata person. Because the ailments which are caused due to the Vata imbalance, they are the most compared to a Pitta and Kapha. And Pitta also is influenced by Vata. Because we cannot imagine fire without oxygen, right? Air. Correct? So the proportion of air can affect the fire, functioning of the fire. And same way, the Kapha, mainly the water element, water on its own cannot move. The movement in the water is caused by the air, right? We get the waves in the ocean because of the air. When the force of air is really strong, we get tsunami, correct? Cyclones. So air is the most important element. Vata dosha is the most significant element. So if you are able to manage that Vata dosha, then other doshas also, if there is any kind of imbalance, they can be managed very easily. Very easily. Right?
Right. Okay, sir.
This is the $1 million secret I've shared with you. I will post my account number tomorrow and you can send me the money. So see, Ayurveda is so wonderful and so practical that if we know a little bit, very basic knowledge we have of Ayurveda, we can take care of our own health. Not only that, we can help our family members, relatives, neighbors, also friends, how to take care of their own health. It's not so complicated. It's not so complex, right? Compared to the modern science, Ayurveda is much, much simpler. Only the thing is that we need to put our heart and soul to understand the basic fundamentals of Ayurveda. Even if we know basic fundamentals of Ayurveda, we don't know so much of details of Ayurveda, doesn't matter. Still, we can take care of our own health. And we can save so much of our money, which unnecessarily we spend. Little bit of ailment happens, we run to see a doctor and start taking medicines, which have so many side effects, unfortunately. Right? So please make a note of this. Just presume that you are a Vata person. And once you know how to balance the Vata, how to regulate the Vata, then other elements, if there is imbalance of other Pitta and Kapha, that imbalance can be corrected very fast, very quickly.
May
Right?
I share something here?
Sure.
Last time we had spoken about the effect of TV watching and screen timings on the people. So this has greatly benefited me because my husband watches TV till late night and I was also watching, and he will sleep, but I was having insomnia. The moment I'm a Vata person, I knew that I'm a Vata person, but this thing was not known to me, that how screen time affects different Prakriti. So nowadays I have made it a point that I will not watch TV after 10. So I'll listen to podcast or something or anything, but I'll not watch screen. And
Yes.
thankfully, since last 1 week, I am not having insomnia.
That's very good.
Thank
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else has anything to say relevant to
Sir,
what we have been discussing?
that is for the numbness, like a nerve. Uh, uh, is that some like a waist down is numb or one of the side is numb? For that, how we can control the batas, or some brain, they are kind of the blood circulation is oxygen is not much in there.
Correct. Yes.
And also autism, those things also is there. If you can say something how to.
Yeah. See, in this regard, you are talking about numbness. Last time we addressed one of the very common ailment nowadays people, they have been suffering from or experiencing is inflammation. Right? We talked about inflammation. And I've given you the examples that each dosha can cause inflammation. Would anyone like to share? If you remember anything from that?
This I know very well.
Good.
See, for inflammation, for Vata people, you said it is like balloon. Just
Yes.
like balloon में हवा भर जाती है, so
Yes.
वैसे ही Vata people में हवा भर जाती है and inflammation हो जाता है. Then it
Correct.
was really very revealing. तो ये बहुत अच्छा लगा. Second was Pitta. For Pitta person, it's like कि फायर है, फायर में कैसे इन्फ्लेमेशन होगा, बट यू एक्सप्लेन वेरी नाइसली व्हेन यू बॉयल द मिल्क, देन
Yeah.
बॉइलिंग मिल्क इज लाइक वो ऊपर आ जाता है एंड देन द इन्फ्लेमेशन. सो द सेम थिंग पिता पीपल, इवन पिता पीपल कैन हैव इन्फ्लेमेशन.
Yes.
And then finally cough, that's the swelling, that's the river में जो bubbles आते हैं, so that you explained. So
Yes.
anyways.
Yeah. So that is the kapha people, it's the mucus accumulation in the body that causes inflammation. Sticky mucus, right? So we need to find out what is the cause of the inflammation. So only just looking at the symptom, the treatment, if we do any kind of guidelines are followed, they may not be so effective. But if we know the cause and then we deal with the cause, then the symptoms subside very quickly, right? Of course, again, it depends on the chronicness of the issue. But if our approach is right, then it's just a matter of time, correct? I had given you an example of cold. Cold can be caused due to cold, right? Cold and cough also can be caused due to excess heat in the body, correct? So if cold and cough is caused due to excess heat in the body, and let's see the normal kind of tendency people have when they have that cold and cough, they start taking, especially I've seen in Hong Kong, they start taking ginger tea and all that. Now, if the cold and cough is caused due to excess heat in the body, can ginger tea help to resolve the problem?
No.
It will increase the problem, right?
Mm.
So for that reason also, we need to find out what is causing the symptoms. Only just based on the symptoms, if the treatment is given, then it will not have proper effect, required effect, or expected, anticipated effect. So to have proper effect, desired effect, we need to find out what is causing the problem. Correct? So now we proceed. It's very good, that we have been having very interactive discussion. So we proceed. We were talking about the three main pillars. Can you put that slide, please? Yes. So Vata, Pitta, Kapha, these are the three main pillars. And then go to the next slide, please. So here, the situation in our modern times, the challenges we face due to different factors. In this kind of situations, how Ayurveda can help. Now, some of you are joining this first time, right? May I know how many of you are joining first time who did not join the previous session? For their benefit, can revise something. And it can be like a revision for the those participants who were there in the previous session. How many of you were not there in the previous session?
Four,
Sir, I
five
was not
people.
there.
5, 6.
What, 6 people were not there?
Not many. I think more than that. I
It's
shall
my first
stop
time.
sharing, then only we can see their raised hands. Okay.
Yes. So just for benefit of those new attendees, and also for the previous attendees as a revision, as I said, I want to mention about this Prakruti part. I had asked this question: when do we get our Prakruti? When is it decided, Prakruti?
By birth.
Yeah, from parents we
By
get.
our karma.
I'm not saying that what is the deciding factor, but I'm asking when. When is it determined?
When you are conceived in the mother's body is what I remember.
Correct. At the time of conception, not at the time of birth. At the time of birth, the planets in the galaxy, how they are affecting. So the astrological chart is made based on the time of birth. But the constitution of an individual is determined at the time of conception. And I shared with you that, I've helped many couples to conceive, many women, female clients. So when they miss their periods by 2 or 3 weeks, then when I check their pulse, so by God's grace, based on the pulse, I'm able to tell them that what are the chances of having particular gender of the child, whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. And by Krishna's mercy, so far, whatever I've told those female clients, and that has come true. Because I tell them I'm not God, I'm just telling you the maximum possibility based on the pulse. And why is it possible? What Ayurveda says, that if a pregnant woman's pulse, the Pitta pulse is very strong, beating very strongly, that indicates the child is a male child. And a pregnant woman's Kapha pulse is beating very strongly, that is an indication of a female child. So based on that, I am able to tell them, that whether the forthcoming child is going to be a boy or a girl, right? So yes, Prakriti is determined at the time of conception, correct? And we have to live with that throughout our life. Our Prakriti doesn't change. What keeps on changing is our vikruti, right? That also based on our eating habits, lifestyle, and of course the external factors, correct? But what Ayurveda says, at different stages, specific dosha has strong influence. And now this also is applicable to everybody. Universally, it is applicable. All are affected in that way. For example, in childhood, at physical level. Now, this also I mentioned that people, they are different at physical and subtle level. You will never find anyone who has same kind of doshic combination at both levels. Some people, when we see physically, they look very strong, very muscular, very energetic physically, but emotionally they can be very fragile. Correct? And on the other hand, sometimes we see people, they look very skinny. Physically, apparently, they may look very, very weak. But strong-minded people, strong-willed people. The willpower is very strong. So people are different at different levels. Correct? And this also I had mentioned to you that how can we find out the individual's prakruti and vikruti at physical level and subtle level? Does anyone remember how to find it out? See, from this, you can understand how deep and how vast Ayurveda is. Of course, it is also to be found from the pulse, but there are specific ways, particular ways to check the physical aspect of an individual and the subtle aspect of an individual. The subtle aspect, sometimes it can be, in Ayurveda, it is treated as gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. That's the mental aptitude of an individual. And from that, we can find out what kind of character the person has. Does anyone remember how to find that out? How to differentiate same individual's constitution at the physical level and the subtle level?
Yes, in astrology, we divide into three nadis, like Adi, Madhya, and Antya. Adi is Vata, Madhya is Pitta, and Antya is Kapha. So there are a lot of nakshatras comes under Adi Nadi. It is ruler is Sun. We call it Pingala Nadi also. So from that we can, in astrologically, like what is more dominating in your birth chart.
Yeah, so we are not talking about astrology here.
Yeah, I mean,
And we are talking about Ayurveda. And of course, see, since you raised about this point of astrology for your information, because I do astrology consultation also for my clients. So initially they come for the Ayurvedic consultation, Nadi Pariksha. And later on, when I make the astrological chart for them, and what you mentioned to me about Adi, Madhya, and those nadis, three different types of nadis, what constitution I tell them at the first consultation from their nadi, physical nadi, same thing is found out astrologically as well. There is no contradiction in that. So from this, you can understand these Vedic sciences, they supplement each other, they complement each other, they don't contradict each other.
Yeah.
So I think Rajogun means it must be Pitta prominent, and Sattva is Vata, and Tamo must be. I don't know.
So, when a person comes, we can see from his posture how he is sitting. If he's very anxious, we can see that it is Vata Vikriti. Is very restless. We can say that he is Vata. He has a Vikriti of Vata.
Why not Prakruti?
But if the Prakriti of Vata is there, he will be like the restless. He will not appear restless. He will appear active, not restless. Restless is the negative side of Vata.
Yeah, now see, you're not getting my question. I'm saying that how can we find out the Prakriti and Vikruti of an individual at the physical level and the subtle level from the pulse?
So
Specific thing I mentioned. The right pulse gives information about the physical aspect of an individual. And the left pulse gives information about the subtle aspect of an individual.
No, I didn't get it. Can you just repeat that? Sorry.
The right pulse, the pulse on the right, near the right wrist, That gives an indication about the physical aspect of an individual, and the left pulse about the subtle aspect, about the gunas of an individual.
Okay.
Why the difference? Can anyone guess? Why the difference between right and left?
Right is this Surya Nadi, which is
Correct.
active, physical, and left
Surya
is
Nadi.
subtle.
Male
Left
and
is
female
subtle.
energy.
Right is active
Yeah.
and left is passive. That's why.
Sun and
No.
moon. Yeah. It's
No. See, that means if you say right is active and left is passive, and the left pulse gives information about the subtle aspect of an individual, so at the subtle level, the person is passive or what?
So
No,
is
in
it
that
related to the position of the heart also? Maybe just guessing.
Yes, it's a right guess. Do you know where is our mind?
It resides in our heart.
Yes, and heart generally is on the left-hand side, right? That's why the left wrist gives information about the mental aspect, mental aptitude of an individual, what kind of thought process the person has, what kind of the character the person has. That can be revealed from the left pulse of an individual. Have you ever heard somebody saying that the heart is on the right side? Has anyone heard that?
No.
no.
I was shocked, in 2018, one client, Australian lady, when she came to see me, when I was giving her the background that I'll be checking her right pulse and the left pulse to find out the physical and subtle aspect. So she told me, Mr. Sharma, please don't do that. Please check my right pulse for my mental attitude and a left pulse for my physical aspect. I asked her why. She said, because my heart is on the right side. She was born like that. The organs were switched in opposite directions. But there was no problem with the functioning of the body. Now, here I want to tell you what I discussed with you, what I shared with you, the secret of the physical and subtle aspect, how to find out from the pulse. So far, just in a way, I can very confidently tell you that you will never come across any article, any book on Ayurveda who can give you this information, which can give you this information. This I learned from my guru in Guru Parampara, the tradition system, that he taught me how to check the right pulse in a specific way and the left pulse in a specific way, in a particular way, to find out about the client's physical and subtle aspect. And that works wonderfully. So you can check, you can check with your relatives, your friends who have visited any Ayurvedic practitioner even in India also. You can just, take it like an open challenge. That even in India, the Ayurvedic doctors, they will not check. They may check the right and left, but not with this kind of evaluation you can do. They will not check with this kind of objective in mind. That what they need to find out the physical and subtle aspect of an individual. So proceeding further, so I was telling that that individuals are different at the physical and subtle aspect. So in childhood, at the physical level, the children, they are affected by mainly kapha dosha. That's why they grow. Physical growth is possible because of that, right? And that's why children, they are prone to getting kapha, mucus related problems. Running nose, cough, cold, very common for children. Very, very common. When the body is producing excess mucus, the body has to eliminate it, right? So that's why the children, they have running nose, cough, cold. So it should not be suppressed. Many times what happens when such children, infants, they are taken to modern doctors. Now I'm sharing with you something. Don't misunderstand me that I'm against the modern science. I'm not against the modern science. Modern science has its own significance in a modern life, but they have many limitations, and those limitations I want to share with you. So if any infant is taken to any modern doctor, medical doctor, so when the doctor sees another child is having cough, cold, running nose, difficulty in breathing, generally, this also based on my experience with parents who have brought their small children to me after seeing the modern medical practitioners, and those medical treatments did not help to resolve the issues. They could suppress for some time, but again, it would come back because when children are going through that phase, when the body is producing more mucus, so it will keep on producing mucus, right? So the children will experience these kind of difficulties again and again. So the suppression is not the solution. So generally, these modern medical practitioners, they label such children as asthmatic. They have asthma, right? According to Ayurveda, asthma is a very serious lung condition. So such children, they do not have any problem with the lungs. Lungs are functioning fine. But when the mucus becomes accumulated in the respiratory system, the breathing becomes difficult. The air channel is squeezed. So children cannot breathe because of that. So the solution is not to give them steroids or something. Generally, they give the inhalers. Those inhalers contain steroids, generally. Not always, but generally. So that actually has adverse effect on the immune system of small children, small babies. So in that kind of situation, I tell especially the nursing mothers, if the children, they are not able to follow any diet, they are not on any solid food, then the nursing mother has to change her diet. Then through the breast milk of the nursing mother, the baby will benefit. The mucus will be removed from the lungs. There is no squeezing effect on the windpipe. The breathing can become very easy. There is no need to take any inhaler. So this is what Ayurveda teaches us. Sometimes the parents, they panic. Oh, my child is not able to breathe and all that. She or he has got asthma attack and all that. It is not asthma at all, generally. Some kind of very specific situations, some children, they may have asthma. But generally, modern medical practitioners, when see any child having these kind of breathing difficulties, they label the child has asthma. Start giving the inhalers. So in my practice, I've seen when the nursing mothers change their diet through their breast milk, the babies benefit. The mucus which is accumulated in the lungs, it is removed, it is eliminated, and the breathing is very easy, very natural. So the point I want to make, children, they go through that phase when the body is producing more mucus, because that mucus is required for the physical growth, correct? And at the subtle level, they are affected by Vata, mainly the air, right? And air is very unstable. We cannot stabilize air. It's always moving. So because that air affects the mind, emotions of small babies, small children, they're very fickle-minded. Unpredictable changes happen at the emotional level. A child may be looking very happy, giggling, laughing, playing with the toys. Next moment, will show the tantrum, throw the toys away, and start crying. Unexpectedly, unpredictably, emotional changes happen because of the effect of air, which is moving always. Sometimes the breeze is very strong. Sometimes we feel very suffocated. No movement in the air. So when children, they are affected by this unstable, always moving element air, they are mentally, I won't say unstable, but they change, fickle-minded. Emotionally also, they change very fast. Right? Is it making sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
Only 1% is agreeable. Others have any objection?
Yes, thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
No,
It's given the reply on chat.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not opening the chat now. I want to focus on discussing. So, see this, from this you can understand, that how deep Ayurveda is, how much in detail these things are explained about the Prakruti. Then, in young age, adulthood, people, they are generally affected by Pitta Dosha at both levels. At mental level, it makes the people very ambitious, many desires to fulfill, many plans in life, many things to achieve. And at physical level, gives energy also to work according to that. Stamina is maintained by Pitta. That way. Right? Energy is produced by Pitta. And then in old age, but practically all people in old age, generally after 50, biologically after 50, Vata has strong effect on people at both levels, physical level and subtle level. At physical level, it makes the body very dry. The skin becomes very dry. Correct? Joints become very stiff because of the dryness in the body. And at the subtle level, because again, like for children, I said, air has effect on the mind. It makes the mind very fickle. Same way, elderly people, the subconscious mind, when it is affected by air, strong air element, vata, they cannot sleep very well. They cannot sleep for too long. Subconscious mind becomes very restless. The sleep can get disturbed very easily, and they get irritated very easily. Forgetful. This is a very common symptom nowadays. Dementia, Alzheimer's, memory-related problems are increasing in the world. So what Ayurveda says, instead of, giving different kind of chemical-based medicines to such people who are suffering from dementia or even Alzheimer's, you handle their vata disorder at the mental level. When that part is taken care of, in many cases, people can address these kind of symptoms successfully. In my practice, I've seen that. People respond quite well. When that vata disorder is corrected at the mental level, their brain starts functioning much better. Then there is no need to keep on taking the chemical-based medicines unnecessarily. Because actually, in the modern science, I heard from my clients, they say that in modern science, they do not have any precise cure for dementia and Alzheimer's. They only know how to manage. Manage means, the deterioration, that process is slowed down. It's not stopped. But I'm very confident I'm able to tell you that Ayurveda can help in many cases if the approach is right and proper guidelines are followed diligently, then this process can be stopped and it can be reversed. The memory can be regained. That brain's function brain's functioning can be normalized. This is possible. This is the beauty of Ayurveda, right? So any individual who lives up to old age is to go through all these three stages. But the individual's personal constitution will not change. It will remain the same at all stages. It can help the individual at different stages, or it can have harmful effect. For example, if somebody has Pitta dosha as the predominant one, that individual in childhood will not be so much badly affected by the mucus, will not have so much of running nose and breathing difficulties and all that. Because Pitta, the fire, will dry up the mucus in the lungs. Correct? But that individual has to be very careful when he attains adulthood. Because adulthood is affected by Pitta, and that individual's predominant dosha is Pitta. So in Ayurveda, it is mentioned Pitta individuals, they are prone to getting skin problems in young age. Acne, pimples, eczema, even psoriasis, rashes, very common for them. Because excess heat will affect the blood tissue, and blood tissue, when it is affected by excess heat, it will affect the skin. Skin problems are caused because of the blood tissue, right? So Pitta individuals, Pitta predominant individuals, they are prone to getting skin problems in the young age. And then in old age, again, the Pitta individuals will benefit. Vata disorder can cause depression in old age. Nowadays, we come across many youngsters also, they feel depressed. This also we talked in our previous session. When we were growing up, even in college days also, hardly we would hear anybody, any classmate complaining of depression. Now I come across young students, secondary school students are feeling depressed. It has become a very common word nowadays, right? So old age, generally in Ayurveda, is, people, they have tendency. It's not at all elderly people, they feel depressed, but they have tendency that they can get depressed. So Pitta-oriented people in old age also, they won't feel depressed. What to speak of them not feeling depressed? If any youngster feeling depressed and sees an elderly person whose predominant dosha is Pitta, that elderly person, because of the strong Pitta dosha, will make that young person feel very lively, the person who was feeling depressed before. This is the effect of Pitta. Very jovial, very lively, full of life, full of energy. Ability to motivate other people, that ability comes from Pitta. So Pitta individuals will benefit in childhood and old age. In young age, they have to be very careful. So this is how our Prakriti, once we know what is our Prakriti and what kind of tendency we have of our having vikruti, if we know these basic things, then many of the health issues we can resolve on our own. We don't need to go and consult any doctor for that. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So again, I want to make you can say either it's appeal or humble request that what we are discussing, please go through these, you can hear this session again and make notes. It will be very helpful, very useful for you, and you can help others also. This is the objective of Ayurveda. When the knowledge, when it is spread, when it is shared, and it benefits others, that's the way the knowledge can survive. If we can restrain knowledge, just hold it back, harbor it, for our own benefit, we don't share, then that knowledge cannot last for too long.
Thank you, sir, for that. I was so thirsty to hear this kind of personalities exists.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I will stop my speech here, my discussion here. If you want to raise any questions or any doubts you have, or any point you want to discuss relevant to what we discussed today's session, please come forward.
Yeah, hi. Thank you very much for such an informative session. I really enjoyed that. It's a shame I wasn't on the first one. I think there's a few of us who weren't. So you kindly shared the link to the first one. I think some people joined late. I'm seeing the chat they're asking me the link to that. So if somebody can share that one again. Number two, today's recording, because I was doing a couple of things in between, urgently somebody asked me questions, so I wanted to, and my phone was cutting out. So I want to listen to it again.
Sorry, if you don't mind. Yeah, I think you're in the car, right? Because your voice is a bit choppy.
Yeah. I was going to say, can you share the link for the second session as well? Later, will you be able to share on here, or will somebody be able to send it out later?
Yes. No. Of course, we will share that. The previous session also was shared in the group, so this also will be sharing. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yeah, because my phone kept cutting in and out sometimes, so I want to make sure I listen to it all again and so I can answer the questions next time as well.
Sure.
Great. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Sir, can I ask a
Sir,
question?
I have a
Sir,
Yeah, let us go one by one for questions. Otherwise, Vinod will get confused. So, who wants to ask a question? Please raise.
Yes. Otherwise, my Vata will get disordered.
Yeah. Okay, Ambika ji. Ambika, go first.
sir, I want to ask, like my son is Pitta Prakriti, and he is having skin problems also, and psoriasis problem also. So, like, how do I manage? Like, how does he can manage this? And he has excess heat, excess anger also. So,
What makes you?
how can he manage it?
What makes you say that he's a Pitta Prakriti?
So, we went to an Ayurvedic practitioner here, Dr. Piyush Dwivedi here, like practices. So, I learned a little bit of Ayurveda from him also. So that's why I was able to say maybe right or wrong, but he cleared that he has a pitta, predominantly pitta and kapha, pitta kapha prakriti.
Okay. So are you giving him any kind of medication at this moment?
No, sir. His psoriasis has lessened now because we have observed that with stress his psoriasis increases. And like his hand skin comes out, and his hand skin becomes very like wiggly type with little bit of water, and it comes out. Yeah.
So now see, you mentioned to me that because of stress, the symptoms become more, right? His skin is more affected.
Yes, we have observed that.
Okay. So now this is very interesting point what you shared with me. If stress aggravates his problem, then I think, this is my opinion, I think that he's not Pitta Kapha, he's Pitta Vata.
Okay, sir.
Because stress has direct connection with Vata. It will disturb the Vata, and the Vata gets aggravated. It will aggravate the Pitta.
Okay.
Right? Supposing there is a flame of fire. when we blow that flame of the fire, it seems, there is more fire. Correct? The volume of fire is the same, but because we are blowing it, air makes us feel that there is more fire. Correct? So the stress aggravates his vata. If he was a pitta kapha person, the kapha will give him the ability to tolerate the stress.
Okay.
Because of the kapha is combination of water and earth. So earth helps the individual to have more tolerance, more resistance. Air aggravates the pitta also very fast, very quickly. Right? In this regard, we had shared in our previous session, what is the difference between hot-tempered and the short-tempered? Do you remember that? What's the difference?
Sir, I did not watch I did not attend the last session, but I'll watch it.
Okay. See, many times people, they are not able to differentiate between hot-tempered and the short-tempered. Pitta people, they are hot-tempered. Vata people, they are short-tempered. And you also mentioned one of the symptoms of your son, that he gets angry also easily, right? So, if he was a Pitta Kapha person, Pitta Kapha people, they don't get angry so easily.
Okay.
Because Kapha gives the ability to the person, the Pitta person, to hold the anger, don't express it. Vata will not allow the person to hold back anger, to immediately express. So, Vata people, they are short-tempered.
So here I would like to mention that he holds his anger, he doesn't express it, he just suppresses it. But like by his behavior, he will not talk, he'll shut himself.
So expression is not only just, by gestures or by oral speech. Expression also through the body also. The body expresses it in the form of symptoms, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So Kapha people, even if they don't express through gestures or through oral expression also, but by speech, still at the subtle level also, the body, when they hold it back, the body can tolerate the suppression.
Okay.
The skin will not react in that way for Kapha people. So this is based on my experience, I'm telling you that try to recheck, get him rechecked, whether it's a Pitta Kapha or Pitta Vata. So whatever may be the second dosha, now the symptoms he's having, try to give him more alkaline food during the day. Certain things you stop completely. Don't give him those things. For example, yogurt. No yogurt, no cheese, no nuts. No lentils except the green mung beans.
Okay. Green mung.
Whole green mung beans.
Okay.
Or the split green mung beans also, the khichdi dal.
Yes.
That you can give him, but not other lentils like kala chana, chola, those kind of things. Don't give him. Don't give him any fermented food, which can make his system more acidic. And on regular basis, now I think, which part of India you are in now?
Is West Bengal, Kolkata.
Okay, so now I think there also the weather may be getting little cooler.
Yes, it's cool.
Yeah, so half teaspoon of soda bicarbonate.
Okay.
Baking soda, not baking powder.
Okay.
Half teaspoon, you give him in about 150 ml, little warm water during the day, not after sunset. Just on regular basis, give him daily basis, just once a day, half teaspoon of soda bicarbonate. So the point I want to make, you make his system more alkaline. Then the acidity level of his body will go down. The blood will get pacified. The blood tissue will get pacified, and the skin will start healing.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, we'll go with Vandana ji. Then Drishti, Subi. Vandana?
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Hare Krishna, Drupti ma'am. Respected sir and Shakuntala ma'am. Thank you very much. I have a quick question on the Prakriti, sir. I had a lot of takeaways from your last response, so I've taken a note of it. And this is for my mother. What I understand, I've shown her to an Ayurvedic consultant long back, and the crux was that she's a Vata and Pitta Prakriti. With the aging factor, she's got some osteo-related pain, which has not been yet diagnosed between osteo and or arthritis. But excuse me, she's facing a lot of pain in the body, and she's also a very, you know, excuse me. She's also a very Ayurvedic inclined person, so she does yoga and all. And recently, about a month ago, she started eating brinjals, and I'm giving a very classic example here, those small brinjals, and she realized that her body pain started reducing. However, over a period of time, in a month or more, now that it's a Sheet Ritu period, her body has gone a little, on the heavier side, because she's very slim, so she's gained weight. So what I quickly wanted to check here is that with this Prakriti, she definitely is a gastroenteritis person. She had ulcerative colitis in the past, and her body is between Vata and Pitta. I see her, and I keep dealing with that. So how can she deal with this? And she love eating brinjals, but her body's become little fluffy, bloated, and she can feel the weight gain because of that. Having said that, for such a Prakriti person, how can we ensure that we give something similar, or whatever your recommendation is, so that her weight goes back on the the fluffiness, or the the acidity which she's developed over a period of time with the brinjals goes down? As in, I am not really dotting down that this is only because of that, but she's very particular in her regime, so she doesn't go for junk or anything else. She's very particular with her yoga, etc., etc.
See this. Thank you for sharing her Prakriti and what symptoms she's experiencing, and specific thing about a brinjal consumption of brinjal, because brinjals, they generate heat in the body. So when the heat is generated in the body, the blood circulation improves, and when the blood circulation improves, oxygen supply to joints also becomes more regular. So that can help to relieve pain and the stiffness of the joints. But when the brinjals they're consumed for a long time continuously, then they are a bit heavy to digest, especially when they're consumed with the skin. Normally, brinjals, they should not be consumed with the skin. Skin should be removed. Only the pulp of the brinjals should be used. And when she's consuming brinjal, make sure that you add fenugreek seeds and ajwain seeds in that. So that will speed up the digestion, and brinjals will not cause heaviness on the digestive system. When they are not properly digested, not only they are not digested so easily, when other food is consumed with brinjals, and brinjals they take very long time to digest, then they slow down the process of digestion of the other food also. So then the most of the portion of the food what the person consumes, that gets transformed into, in Ayurveda we call it ama, toxic mucus. So when that mucus becomes more and more accumulated, it starts putting a kind of increasing weight of the person. So if you give a brinjal with that ajwain seeds and fenugreek seeds, and also without the skin, then that can help. And for the time being, I don't know how often she's consuming brinjal. For the time being, you just give a break. Don't give a brinjal at all. Give it for 7 days and let the system is cleansed. Give us some more fiber so that the digestive system is cleansed to a certain extent, where brinjals can be digested in a timely manner, and then they don't put so much of burden on the digestive system, and the toxic mucus is not formed further. So that can help her to reduce weight also.
Sure. Thank you very much. Sir, is there any Ayurvedic or a homeo supplement which you want to recommend, just because the body has gone bloated? So we've stopped brinjals and point noted, sir, whatever you mentioned so far.
Yeah. One remedy which I would suggest, you give a Cilicia.
Sure,
Cilicia 6x, 4 pills 4 times a day. So that can be
Okay.
very helpful for her.
Sure, sir.
Because you mentioned to me about, I'm not sure whether she has osteoporosis or arthritis, whatever may be the case, whether it's osteoporosis or arthritis, in both cases, Silisha can work very well.
Silicia 6x, and the frequency, sir, how much?
4 pills, 4 times a day.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have one more question, but I'll wait back in the queue, and I let others come in first. Thank you. Thank you, Trupti ma'am, once again. Hare Krishna, sir.
Thank you for being gracious, Vandana. Let's go with Rishti. She's been waiting. Rishti, I think she's logged off. Sorry, Rishti. Okay. Subi Barnali wants to ask a question. Shrija. Subi, please go ahead. Make it quick.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Acharya ji. I have two questions. One is related to the last session. It's a query that you had said if you cut your nails and hair at night, the negative energy get attracted. But everybody's got nails and hair on their body. So when they are not cut, negative energies don't get attracted to them.
No, I said don't clip them after sunset.
I mean, that's what you said. No, negative energies are generally around that time. But when they are cut, then only negative energies are drawn to them. When we are in person having nails and hair on our body, that time we don't attract.
Yes. See, when as long as they are part of our body, they have life. That's why they grow, right? When any substance has any life, any object has any life, that substance or object grows.
Okay.
As soon as we clip them off from our body, they become a dead matter. And that dead matter is the food for these evil spirits. And that's why they roam around. So when they see that we are providing the food, then they will chase us, anticipating that we can provide the food again for them.
Thank you so much. And the second query is about myself. I am basically a Vata vikruti. And naturally, with age, it's becoming more and more prominent. I am not eating any of those food which are not recommended for Vata people. But still, I am suffering from vertigo, blood pressure, joint pain, and insomnia, which are Vata related. So, is there any one mantra that can be given to people of our age not to have an aggravated Vata as they grow old?
See, now, Ayurveda always says, we have to have two ways approach. One, you stop the food items which can aggravate the problem, which can cause a problem. Second, you supply the food items which can help you to recover. Right? Now you said that you stop eating the food items which can aggravate Vata. Correct? That's a good thing you're doing. But you're doing only 50%. Right thing. Other 50%, what you need to do, you need to add food items which contain strong earth element. So that will have more grounded feeling and it will regulate the air circulation properly in the body. And then, this vertigo and all these kind of symptoms. The first thing it will happen when you increase the earth element in your diet, the roots in your diet, the quality of your sleep will be much better with that. And when you get proper sleep, then other symptoms can be taken care of very easily. Because for Vata vikruti people, sleep, uninterrupted sleep is very, very important.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Shrija. Shrija, please ask.
Thank you. You have mentioned about Pitta Prakriti. Those people easily affected by skin problems in their adulthood. And if such a problem, and also mentioned that it is due to some problems in the blood. It affects the blood badly. And if the blood tissues are already infected, then how can it be cured? And how the disease appearing on the skin that can be cured?
Yeah. So yes, the Pitta has Pitta means, the excessive acidity in the body. That also is Pitta category. So if it has already affected the blood tissue, and if the effect has been there in the system for a very long time, then most probably it must have affected the kapha dosha as well, the mucus part. So you need to handle both. If you just only try to pacify Pitta and don't take care of the kapha, then the effect will be very limited and temporary. But when you take care of both, eliminate the excessive kapha from the body and pacify the aggravated Pitta, then it will work wonderfully.
So one more thing, if the disease in the skin, if it appears in the winter season, especially from December, it starts surfacing, and by March, it gets reduced.
See, the reason why these things happen, because in winter season, the Pitta gets accumulated in the body. Because we don't sweat much, we don't release the Pitta, it gets accumulated, and that's the reason, I think in the previous session we mentioned that in winter season, because the body produces more fire, and that's why our appetite increases, the body produces more fire so that we can combat with the cold weather outside in the environment. So that's why the fire increases in the body, correct? And it remains trapped in a way within the body, it gets accumulated in the body. So when it keeps on accumulating, that can get aggravated and that can affect the skin. So regular exercises can help to maintain the flow of Pitta in the body. Then it will not kind of attack the skin in that way.
So earlier you mentioned about consuming some alkaline substances that will reduce Pitta. If consuming 1 glass of cucumber or
1 second. I'm not talking about reducing Pitta. I'm talking about pacifying Pitta. The Pitta should not be reduced, pacify. There is difference between reduction and pacification. So when any element is aggravated, it is to be pacified. If we reduce the Pitta, then the appetite will become affected, right? Our appetite also will reduce. So we don't have to do that. If our appetite reduces, then our energy level also will go down. So we need to pacify the Pitta. Yes, go ahead now.
So consuming glass of cucumber juice, will that in any way help reducing the or pacifying this acidity or Pitta?
Yeah, yes, generally it can work very well. But again, you're talking about the winter season and cucumber is very cooling, correct? So what you can do, you can take a glass of 100 ml of supposing cucumber juice, take it in the glass and put that glass in a container which contains hot water to get rid of the cooling effect of the cucumber juice. And then also you can add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper powder to it. So on one hand, the cucumber juice will have alkaline effect, and when you are getting rid of the cooling effect of it by putting it in the hot water container and also adding black pepper powder to it, so it will not harm in any way. So we need to balance our diet in that way. It's not that you're only just to get the benefit, we take it in a way which can cause harm in some other way.
So by doing some pranayams, will that help in reducing these adverse effects on the body?
Yes, of course. Particularly Shitali pranayam and Chandra Bhedan pranayam. I'm not sure whether you have heard these names. Chandra Bhedan pranayam and Shitali pranayam.
Shitali.
Yeah. I'm talking about Shitali pranayam. There are two, Shitali and Shitkari. Don't do Shitkari pranayam. Shitali pranayam. And Chandra Bhedan pranayam. So these will have very good alkaline effect on the system.
Okay, thank you. Preja.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Move on better, huh?
Yes.
Okay, let's have Dinesh ji. You want to ask a question? We are crossing a lot of time. Actually, it's already 8:30.
Yeah.
I think
I'm first time
was late in Hong Kong. So just two more, okay?
Yeah. So I'm 73-year-old male from New Delhi.
Yes.
And by Prakriti, I am Vat and Pitta mixture. So for the last 1 year, I'm suffering from prostate enlargement. So in case you can just advise me or guide me.
Are you taking any medication for that?
I'm taking Ayurvedic medicine. This homeopathy and Ayurvedic, both medicines are continuing.
Can you share the names, please?
Well, I might have
If
to
you
take
know the
out the
names.
prescription. I have got the medicines here. These are the formulations which the doctor has provided me. Sorry, only 444 pills are written there. I don't know the names of the medicines.
So they may be their patent medicines. So anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will not go into the medicine part. I will just tell you the practical things what you can do.
Yeah.
You get a tennis ball.
Okay.
And place that tennis ball between your perineum. I mean the testicles and the perineum area. You sit on that.
Right. Okay.
For 12 to 15 minutes. You place that tennis ball on a very firm, hard surface.
Right.
And sit on that. Just make sure that tennis ball does not put any pressure on your testicles.
Right.
On your perineum area. So 15
fact,
minutes in the morning.
So I need not sit
minutes.
cross-legged. I can sit on a plastic chair, which is a hard seat.
But the surface has to be even, right?
Right. Okay. Flat surface. Flat surface. Yeah.
So 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and 15 minutes in the evening.
Sure, sir. I'll do that.
And this is one technique you can do, which can be it will have massaging effect on the prostate gland. And other thing, it may sound a bit strange, but it is very effective. At night, when you go to bed,
right,
you should wear 2 underwears.
Right.
Cotton underwears, no any other synthetic material. Cotton, the triangular type brief underwears.
Yeah.
The one which you wear inside, the front part should be wet, damp.
Right. Okay.
And the second underwear which you wear on top, that should be dry.
Okay.
So start doing this. These simple techniques, if you do regularly for 1 week, you will see the difference.
So throughout the night, it has to be wet?
See, the body's temperature will dry it up. It won't remain wet all night. In a couple of hours, it will become dry. So don't worry about that.
So in fact, first I have to just put it in water, then in fact squeeze it, and after that I have to wear it.
Correct. It should be quite damp, not only just a little damp, but quite damp, because body's temperature will dry it up.
Right. So in fact, at night I have to get up at least 3 to 4 times.
Now this one, when you start wearing this way, 2 underwears, that problem also will reduce.
Right. Definitely.
Because it will increase. It will increase the blood circulation around the genitals, around the urethra, around the bladder. Then the bladder, when it becomes warmer, it will have ability to hold the urine for longer time.
Achha, one thing I had noticed, some time back I had gone to some water park, and there in fact I was in the water stream for about half an hour. And after that, I found that that urine stream, the flow, that had increased. So is it some kind of water therapy, or in fact, is it really helpful?
Yeah, the thing is that you need to improve the blood circulation in that region.
Okay.
So whether you do it through the strong stream of water, or by these 2 underwears, by wearing it to improve the blood circulation and then generate the warmth there. So whichever technique is possible for you, you can do that.
And what should be the temperature of the water? It should be room temperature, or in fact, it has to be hot or cold?
No, room temperature.
Room temperature. Yeah. So just have to soak the underwear in that and squeeze it and wear it.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'll try both tennis and as well as this underwear. Both the techniques.
Please share your whatever difference you notice after that.
Certainly, I would love to. So nice of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh. This is a very interesting question and a equally interesting answer, Vinod ji.
Thank you.
ना आसान चीजें हैं और लोग जानते ही नहीं इन सब आसान चीजों के बारे में.
Correct.
मीनू जी, प्लीज.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have been suffering from thyroid, and after having trifla, having calcium, magnesium, anything Hana, I had consulted also, unable to lose weight. I am just unable to lose weight, and it shows on the face, on the body,
So you mean you are suffering from hypothyroid? Thyroid?
yes, hypothyroid.
Hypothyroid. Okay.
Yes.
So do you know how to do Brahma Mudra?
No, sir.
Bending your neck back and forth, the sideways like that.
Okay.
If you
Yes.
do that neck bend exercises and other unique exercise, which is called Jalandhar Bandha. Have you done any yoga if you're familiar with the terminology?
Yes, sir.
So Jalandhar Bandh can be very beneficial for you. So there is a particular specific way of doing Jalandhar Bandh, keeping your back and neck straight in the straight line. Either you do it in the standing position or the sitting position, as long as you can maintain your posture straight. Then what you do, you take a deep breath in, and while breathing in, at the same time, you start bending your neck backwards. Tilt your head backwards as far as it can go.
Okay.
Hold the breath in that direction. Then while exhaling, you straighten your neck. Then when you come to the straight position, first you inhale completely. Then holding your breath, you bend your neck forward. Press your chin between the collarbones and hold the breath as long as you can hold it comfortably. Then straighten your neck first and then you breathe out. So do this exercise 10 times. 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening. So these are the yogic techniques you can do. Food-wise, if you are able to consume, if you can consume fresh, ripened pineapple.
Okay.
That can be very beneficial for you. And the Ayurvedic medicines, if you can get Kanchanar Gugul.
Okay.
Kanchanar Gugul, 2 tablets after breakfast, 2 tablets after lunch, and 2 tablets after dinner. Now these Ayurvedic tablets don't swallow like the other tablets. You crush them, pound them, make powder, and that powder you take with warm water.
Okay.
This we call Shastrok medicine. That means medicines which are based on the Ayurvedic scriptures formula. So these tablets, they should not be swallowed like the normal regular tablets. Otherwise, they are not digested.
Okay. And
So try
somebody
these
told
things.
me have ginger juice with lemon and all. Does that help?
No.
No.
Those things can help, those things can help when the weight gain is caused mainly only because of the excess mucus for kapha prakriti. But in your case, the reason is thyroid gland, right? So you need to address that part.
Okay.
Pineapple and Kachnar Google. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think with the last one now, Barnali, and then we're going to call it a day. Barnali? Barnali, you want to ask something? Okay,
She needs to unmute herself.
She needs to unmute, but I think she's maybe busy or whatever. I don't know. Chaliye. Barnali, you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay, she doesn't want to ask me. All right, let's call it a day.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Just a very quick one. I can see you were just giving some exercises for the lady with the thyroid question. So is there particular yoga for an Ayurveda sort of specific yoga, sort of, or does it depend on your specific needs?
Of course, when you select the yogic exercises according to your personal need, then you're narrowing down the effect of the yoga exercises, and you save your time also instead of focusing on different general exercises which you may not need at this point of time. Then in that way you can gain.
Yeah. So, okay. So I guess what I was asking is, you'd have to know what you need before you can do that. You can't do a generic. There isn't a generic Ayurveda yoga classes.
No. Of course, there are general classes. The point I mentioned, because if you have any health issue to address, then it's better to select the exercises which can help you to address those health issues. So once you recover, then you can focus on general classes just to maintain your health.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So when there is any specific need, then you select our specific postures.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You're
So,
welcome.
thank you, Rashmi and Subi and Shrija and Ambika ji and Meenu for asking such wonderful questions. Dinesh ji also, because questions पूछेंगे तो हमें भी सीखने को मिलता है. और I think Vinod ji has a what should I say? Like he's like a Bible of Ayurvedic knowledge, remedies, everything. So thank you, Vinod ji, again for gracing, being so gracious actually for our group. आप हमेशा नई चीजें लाते हैं, and you're always so open to sharing everything. Really, it is such a blessing for all of us here. Honestly.
And actually, it's a blessing for me also that I'm able to share this wisdom with the like-minded people.
No, thank you. Really.
Only just forgive me, because I was a bit, in a way, strong during the session. So that I just wanted to emphasize on the point that if you are spending your time to learn something, then learn it properly.
बिल्कुल बहुत जरूरी है. You are like a Zen master, Vinod ji, who is going to be strict, and I think a teacher needs to be strict. तभी हम ध्यान दे के सुनते हैं. And many of us are making notes, so which is a real blessing for us. We can have a notebook, and मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि जब भी आप जैसे स्पीकर्स आते हैं तो कीप अ नोटबुक एंड राइट आउट थिंग्स. दीज आर जेम्स. ये जेम्स है नॉलेज के, ऐसे वैसे नहीं मिलेंगे. आपने राइटली कहा कि ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें आप बताते हैं जो किताबों में नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम योर एक्सपीरियंस,
Yes, and what I learned from my guru.
And from your guru, exactly. तो हमारे लिए तो इट्स अ ब्लेसिंग कि आपसे सीख रहे हैं और आपके गुरु से भी सीख रहे हैं, because that is so important for all of us. So thank you, Vinod ji, once again. Dhanyavad. And everybody, thank you so much for being present here. It's really आप ही की बदौलत से हमारा ग्रुप चल रहा है, और इतना 4 साल हो गए थिंकिंग थर्सडे को, and I think we've never missed a Thursday apart from Diwali or something like that. So thank you everybody for being present here. Okay.
So before we conclude, I just want to make a request that though we call it Thinking Thursday, but don't keep on thinking only on Thursdays. Keep thinking always.
That's true, Vinod ji. That is what
Thank
I
you
call
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
A doctor with a sense of humor. Nothing can be better than that. Thank you, Vinod ji. Thank you so much.